What's going on YouTube? Fesify Media. So the other day I made a video about Big Keyz getting caught up in a case. The rapper, and who's commonly associated with being with Nines and Ice City Boys, got found guilty for a case and has now been sentenced. It said on the news the rapper Big Keyz was working with a charity project helping lift youngsters out of a life of crime whilst also moonlighting as a drug dealer in Oxford. It said that the 32-year-old, who was commonly associated with the gang Ice City Boys, featured in YouTube music videos and was jailed for 8 years at Oxford Crown Court on Friday for his part in the quote-unquote Hollywood drugs line. The third strike dealer fled from police officers when they caught him in a drugs den on November the 11th as he hurtled over the back gate, scattering wraps of heroin and crack cocaine as he ran. But he had said that he'd been in the Oxford terraced house to return a phone to the householder and a friend of his partner's and to use the toilet. He'd driven to London from Oxford with his partner and her child in order to go to the cinema. But the prosecutors wasn't having it and said he was in fact in a university city to resupply the Hollywood line with drugs, and the line followed the well-worn path of sending bulk advertising text messages to clients, including one that boasted of selling bigger and better drugs than its competitors. Keyz was often in the media described as a rapper, but there's not much content out there at all of him rapping. Maybe it's because he's associated with Nines and you can see him in a lot of the videos with Nines. As far as his defence in court, Oliver Doherty said that his client had worked with charities like United Borders, speaking to youngsters about the risk of a life of crime and about his experiences of dealing drugs, and he was assisting other young men not to take the path that he had done, the barrister said. He was also said to have volunteered with Bus Down Bars, a double-decker bus kitted out with a music studio and aimed to be encouraging young men away from crime. I know this show hasn't been as active, but it was a charity going around literally shining light on talent and a very, very good project as part of the United Borders. Bust Down Bars even had an episode that got deleted where they had a serious rapper, Nines, on that show, and Keyz was standing right next to him. He was supporting his friend Nines, but didn't actually take to the mic himself. Mr. Doherty said, "It is meant to be keeping him away from criminality. For him, it hasn't worked, but he's been drawn back into that life of criminality for whatever reason. We rely on his charity work and his attempts at legitimate work as a rapper and music promoter to demonstrate he is somebody who has at least tried to prove himself away from that path." But despite the defense, they were still all found guilty and sentenced for their part in this case. Yanis Young, 36, who was caught in the house with drugs when police raided in November 2019, was given 5 years and 4 months imprisonment. But the judge ordered that that jail sentence would be served after a 6-year term imposed at Bournemouth Crown Court in 2020 for robbing a bookies at gunpoint. A drugs line runner called Mohammed, 30, was also sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. He was caught by police in plain clothes in St Mary's Churchyard on November 11th, 2019 with the Hollywood drugs line phone discarded in a compost heap nearby. Officers found a lump of Class A drugs. And Big Keyz himself was also sentenced and was found guilty for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs earlier this month and was given 8 years inside. Keyz does actually have a brother called Justin who runs United Borders, which is helping tackle crime for the youth. That might be why he got involved in them particular charity projects, but if only Keyz could follow more on his brother's side and stay away from a life of crime. But there is obviously possibilities of him going into that in the future and learning from his mistakes and getting on board with what his brother's doing.
You pay for what is a priority, you know, and I think this is a massive priority. There's a lot of people in each nomination who are working voluntary, etc., and a lot of the work that they're doing is, you know, it's not always recognized by most. I think for us to pay tickets to actually show those people, you know what, we're here for you on this night to celebrate your achievement and to celebrate what you've actually been doing and will continue to do. I think that kind of buy-in is really important for what we're doing, and from what I understand, it's going to be an amazing evening anyway. So.
Nines, of course, was jailed this year as well. The chart-topping rapper was jailed for 28 months for importing 28 kgs of cannabis. The musician, real name Courtney Freckleton, went by the name Big Boss in a cannabis importing operation. The prosecutors against Nine said that the money laundering charge related to a 98k debt in the value of drugs and used Bitcoin to buy cannabis. Some of the cannabis was even imported inside boilers brought into the UK from Poland, the court heard. Nines from central London and his co-defendant Thompson from North London was arrested in June after police raids across London and Hertfordshire. The operation is understood to have stemmed from the infiltration of encrypted messaging services on EncroChat. The network, which was used by thousands of criminals worldwide, last year was hacked by French investigators. The father of two Nines, who was known as Big Boss, had previously been imprisoned for 18 months for possession of cannabis with intent to supply. And also Skrapz is awaiting his trial, which is scheduled to go ahead in 2022 for his involvement in the Craig Small case where his life was taken, the rapper from Stonebridge. Skrapz, who is 32 years old, has been charged with perverting the course of justice and possession of ammunition, 10 rounds of 9mm bullets, and is now scheduled at the Old Bailey's listings and is said to go ahead on the 21st of February 2022. Where he will either be found guilty or not guilty for this incident, but regardless, has already done a lot of remand time. He's been in jail for a while now, so this case has taken ages to get to court. I will of course be updating you on exactly what happens with each of these rappers when they've come home, and of course the updates on their trial, with Skrapz' situation still to go ahead, so we find out what's happening with him. Over the last couple of years, Ice City boys would post up Snapchats of undercover police on their block and even rap lyrics about them being bugged, but the police really were onto these guys and trying to crack down on them. Who would have predicted the last year how many members have been locked up?
Motherfuckers, the police, B. You're a fucking fed, fam. You're a fed, fam. This one's a... I don't give a fuck what he says, he's a fed, mate. You're a fed. I'm not stupid. I ain't stupid. I ain't stupid. I know police when I see... If you see the police, warn a brother. Warn a brother. Popo. That's McNulty. I knew I... Yo, Toxic, I know you know McNulty. Come on, blood. Hey, McNulty. McNulty. Shit. He's a popo too. He's acting good. He's a good fucking actor, mate. You're a good fucking actor, mate. Don't let him fool you. He's a fed. I'm not stupid, big man. I know police when I see police, big man. Imagine my nigga brother just said he's gone. Don't let this nigga fool you. That's feds, blood. That's feds, blood. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. You're a good actor, though. What do you mean he needs an Oscar if he is, blood? Say that again, brother.
Hey.
What do you mean? He's a fucking fed. You're a fed, blood. I'm not stupid. You're more sober than me. I'm not stupid. I know for a fact you're a fed. I will put 100 fucking pound. Fuck, I'll put 100 racks down you're a fed. You're a fucking fed. You think I'm stupid, blood? Of course you're a fucking fed. Shout out, you're on your job, though. You're on job, though. I know you're a fed. I love the way you talk like a real roadman, though. But you're a fed, fam. What are you doing with the feds, then? Oh, you're a snitch. That's even worse. 48 hours. Fam, if you're not a fed, what are you doing with the feds? What are you doing with the feds, then, blood? Come on, blood. Let me tell you this. This nigga need to get home safe if you're not a fed, but I still think you're a fed. But if you're not a fed, get home safe, blood. Because couple man...
Make sure you guys all subscribe to the channel with that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.